And here we are back again. Another small dilemma coming through for the loveliness of the loveliness. I don't think this would be great for every other problem in existence, but you know, not everything works the way it should. And even, even, even if we know for sure what exactly he's been doing, he's doing a lot more than you think. Finishing up his delicious slice of cake through his day, and we finally had sorted out how exactly to get every other sim to go put his lovely daughter to bed. Because let me tell you, it was a road trip and a half to get that to work. But needless to say, everything starts breaking constantly. Like, really constantly. But regrettably, I forget children eat food, so that's another dilemma in and of itself. But we got little Isabel to finally go to sleep. And, regrettably, this camera does not seem to ever agree with anything I seem to do. And Jericho has seemingly dropped off on his desire to do child caring, because every time I tell him to do something, he gets into it. But seemingly she keeps having nightmares every time we turn around. I think mostly from hunger pain than anything else. But figures he'd give her some attention. And boy, howdy does he have the world's greatest airplane noises. But they spend some quality time hanging out, chilling, and just simply playing for once. And this child seems to not find her way out of the bathroom, so booting her out the old-fashioned way. Just for her to decide to take off. And surprisingly, just as I flick down to go look, she actually puts Isabella to sleep herself. Now, I don't know if it's just because she can't figure out how to sleep or what, and then I finally realized feeding the child is something I forget to do. Buying her a new high chair to hopefully give that sated appetite, and I get to find out how little this trick works. Because the high chair does not seem to want to ever work. After a couple tries, we finally get something in him. And he doesn't even manage to put it into the high chair. His failure couldn't even manage. Thankfully, she's smart enough to at least know how to use a chair to be able to eat, so that's a plus. But she's not happy with any of it. Finally getting that nice serving of food in and out and go and enjoy it. Ow. And of course, everyone seems to want to enjoy talking to the poor child. And of course, he starts his painting habits, because that's all he ever seems to want to do these days. Paint, paint, paint. Not that I mind, say you, because that's free money every time he gets it. But this whole shebang of people talking, playing, and doing everything is constant. And so to give him a little break, we go to his sugar mommy and give him some time to go and go on a date. Needless to say, he finds the most enthused fan ever. This guy completely falls apart every time he sees me. It is probably the most living embodiment of how popular Jericho actually ends up being. It's also why I don't really leave the house. He dies every time. I love it. Needless to say, this makes the date a little harder. It also says go to a date, but it also doesn't give me any procs to do, so we just hang out a little bit longer than need to be. Talking, chatting. Of course, it was lunchtime, so we gotta go buy food eventually to sate that hunger he's been having as he walks in. He apparently joined a club at some point. Yeah, it doesn't really give him goals. But then I end up failing because it doesn't give me goals, so insulted as it is. Needless to say, the nice little saloon style bar for some reason. Exactly who designed some of this stuff, but not my choice. Spending some quality time with someone he needs some attention for, and his newfound fans. Needless to say, that's not the first nor the last person he needs to hang around with. I spent quite a few times trying to get him to fix other problems and issues, but I think it's definitely just the stairs, because they are not liking anyone doing stuff. And one of these days, stairs will work properly and readjust so that I can actually get things through. But for now, we'll see if he can actually service decent food. Especially since it's caviar crackers. Ugh, that sounds awful. Caviar just sounds awful in general. Seafood eggs for no reason. Weirdly enough, you can definitely tell when the game starts giving up on doing stuff, because by the time you get through any processes, it gives up going for it. Although at this point, I might just have to spend time actually streaming through Sims, because I don't really want to feel like doing anything else. Or maybe keep playing some games of League, one of the two. And even then, I don't really do anything all day anyways, so who cares? And it's actually acceptable food, surprisingly, considering, you know, his disdainfully habits of talking. Although at the same time, I don't know who's at a bar at 12:30 p.m., but just good luck with that one. I don't even want to know. There is this dandy gentleman who's hanging out. Of course, it's also a saloon, I think, technically, so... I mean, it services food, which is better than nothing. Better than, like, only doing drinks. Of course, I forget that we're actually on a date, so inviting him over to come hang out would probably work great. Exploring the saloon itself, find out there's a ping pong table. So I figured, hey, why not go to a ping pong table to do the best ping pong table thing there is? And fundamentally, this didn't work out either. Because to go all the way up to the ping pong table to play, just for it to lock in place and not actually play the games. I don't know if it's like they were playing it in their mind or who, what, where. This is pretty much the whole solution of what happens to the bar. They ended up failing in their own respects to playing ping pong and chat for a little bit, but who knows why they won't actually play it. So they spend their time and they find out their disagreements more than anything else, which even then he's got plenty of time to figure out other problems. And he's just reminded of how useless all the people that live in his house are. And how little he actually gets along with the people he's with, but it's an interesting park outside. So I guess if you want to do a park date, there's plenty of space to do that. Granted, it'll end up in the same problem of him going somewhere and having to deal with lots of people he doesn't want to. So at this point, I just give up on the ping pong. It tells me it wants me to do it, but it won't do it at all. So, I think this at this point is right about close to, yeah, no, it's definitely about time for that date to close off. Which then I get the announcement that the date was a failure, but it asked me nothing of it, so fun. But it built up that relationship to it. Although it seems like he doesn't really like showing off that he's famous, so well on that part in and of itself. One of these days he'll figure it out on his own and not know it. And of course, the 500,000 phone calls that go through the day do not help at all. Like, he gets a call every, like, 5 minutes of someone asking something of him. And boom, Date finished and a disappointment. Although I don't like the statement that she tells me not to call her again, but she called me, so we'll see how well that goes considering she shows up later to come visit. In fact, I think she stays like overnight to top it off. So, let's head home and go check on the baby, because I'm sure she is missing me to no end. Of course, he spends his time trying to constantly paint over and over again. You know, you'd think one of these days I'd fix the problems. Of course, masterpieces drop like candy with the way he paints and skillfulness to it. But hopefully that can keep itself rolling and solutioning and fixing. If I can keep getting masterpiece after masterpiece, eventually I'll just have to start selling them because I'll have no wall space to speak of. He also likes that particular figure painting feature and making those masterpieces every time, selectively dropping every bit. And unfortunately, Adira finally croaks. Of course, we have so little contact with her that we don't even bother to look. Or no, it's not you, dear. It's one of the other ones. The elderly. She finally croaks. It alerts me. I think it's finally trying to fix things because I finally actually see his lovely head that comes through. But his neighboring Sim here finally croaks later in the seats. And we have to set that one out to go about. Of course, he doesn't even, like, remotely care. Drop another masterpiece. Then we spend both the next, like, 2 days trying to teach him how to speak. Because Isabella here needs to learn some languages. And this camera is still not agreeing with me. I don't know what it is, if it's just collisions with weird things or what, but everything pops up and down. So, Isabella gets to learn to speak. I think I finally bothered to potty train her, which, you know, fun to find out that's a feature they not skip out on. Skip out on a lot of things, actually. I think mostly the initial frustration of the game giving up pathing was biggest problem. Needless to say, I do eventually call someone to fix those stupid windmills because they were driving me mad to try and fix them myself. But then they're lazy and just leave a bunch of garbage out there, which was annoying. Oh, hey, there she is. She'll be gone soon enough, unfortunately. And I find out other people are teaching her how to speak too, and other random junk. Of course, she's not quite enthused to learn from other people who aren't me. And I think she's probably tired out and hungry because they just trying to teach her while she's doing stuff. Needless to say, we send that off to bed because it was true and accurate. Definitely hungry, definitely tired. Why everyone has to bother her while that's happening, I don't know. But that seems to be the biggest contender of when they bother. And either way. But for the most part, we sort most of that problem out there. And a lot of the graphical little choices to go through. Getting stuck every time I want to do something or other. Look at this. Just put the baby in bed. How hard is it to do it? You don't need 4 tries to do it. It's so bad that Isabel finally falls asleep just on the ground because you're doing so bad at it. But we do finally actually figure out how to get her into bed so that, you know, she can sleep properly and not the floor. And probably not wake up with so many nightmares. I have not received the prompt, however, of neglecting a child, so that's a plus. Back upstairs, he gets his nice, lovely exertion to a painting once more. Just his go-to-work workout of painting and delivering. Needless to say, he loves painting a lot these days. One of these days, I need to sit down and write down a bunch of books again just to make a bunch of money. And people keep picking up hobbies and skills. Makes it all the way out here with his bowl to go clean up more, and turns out he had to give up on that for work. There is like a bajillion people just chilling outside his house every time he walks out. Which once again leads to why. They take their ghost picture as he heads off to work. And I wonder more and more what they try and do. But even then,
Tropicore.
I don't even know what this guy was doing, but he's partying and rocking. And for now, that's at least the last like 3 days of his work today. Needless to say, if anything, I'll probably actually start streaming on Twitch to go through more Sims playthrough, and probably have to work out a way to record and deal with that. But for now, I will give this off to you. I will call it good on every solution. Those who wish to see it can join me on live at twitch.tv/Lorenzo Von Galestein. But for now, I will say bye bye!